What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I feel like this thing is like super filled up today, but whatever. Okay, so we are back with another, not Q&A, but I'll tell you what I'm doing. So I really do try. So to the gentleman that has made a lot of comments about on the videos, thank you. I love all of your comments. Sometimes, so you got to keep in mind that I film YouTube videos. I have two kids. I train clients in the morning. I train clients at night. I just opened up another hour. And then I'm also trying to be more present with myself. So that's no excuse. I do my best to try to comment on a lot of the videos, but sometimes I don't have time to answer a lot of questions. Plus, some of the questions that people are asking might be things that I've answered in other videos. And although I don't expect you to go back and watch old videos, as we have so much new content, me, have so much new content coming out. So what I decided to do today is not do a Q&A on Instagram, but answer some of the questions that require a little bit more detail of the questions that are asked on some of my latest videos. I will say there is specifically one person, and I would like to acknowledge him, Manuel. I hope I'm saying his name right. So most of these are from him. But I think that they're all great questions, and I have been asked some of these before, so I figure I'll go ahead and fill you guys in. My hair is getting long, um, and I am growing it out a little bit. So the top of it is I'm leaving up a little wild, and then the back I kind of, and then Igor shaped the back. But I'm embracing it more. Yesterday I actually went to the gym without one of my wigs on. It's not the first time, but it's the first time not filming, just going in and just wanting to just be in my own. I don't know how to describe it, but let's just get to the video. Okay, so in no particular order, let's go ahead. Is the hot tub a way to relax after training? I will say I would like to do it more, and yes. After a really good leg day, which happens to be today. Today is Tuesday. I'm training. I haven't decided if I'm going to film. I kind of want to because there's a third person. So every Tuesday I train with Andy, my coach. Andy does my nutrition and then trains me once a week on Tuesdays. In February of next year, we're going to be together for 5 years. That's how long I've been training quads with him. And then a year after that, he took over on my nutrition. So he does my nutrition. And then I do all of my other training. So all my glute, hamstring, and all upper body training is done, designed, and everything by me. So, today happens to be a leg day. He trains me and his girlfriend Kelly, and there's a third person that's going to be joining in on the workout, so I might want to film. Plus, this will be the third week of us doing this same exercise routine with progressive overload, and I'm feeling really good. My hip feels good. Those of you that might be new to the channel, I have bursitis, arthritis, in my hip, narrowing of the hip joint. There's a chance I might have a tear. But I'm doing all of my stuff to make sure that I'm not making it worse. And doing my mobility, I also have a herniated disc. I had 2 epidurals about 2 months ago. So I am wouldn't say recovering from that, but I'm doing what I need to do. I dabbled in powerlifting. I don't do that anymore. That's been talked about in the video, but we're not going to talk about that. So typically, yes, if I have the time, I will try to come out here and come in the hot tub for more than just hot topics in the tub. But I definitely do take advantage of it because lately the only time I come out here in the hot tub is if I'm filming a video. Okay. What do I look forward to accomplishing next? So I'm going to be really vulnerable, open. So right now I am Last year, both of my parents passed away. I have talked about that in a video. My dad passed away in June, and my mom passed away in October. I have a lot of trauma around my childhood. If you read my story on my website in the description, I left home when I was 16. I was raped when I was 16. I've been molested as a child. I've been sexually abused. I was beat up at the age of 23 by my ex-boyfriend, had a nervous breakdown, and then turned my life around. So when both my parents died, I don't think I really dealt with the trauma of it. I've seen therapists on and off in the earlier part of my life, and it's been a really long time. And I found somebody that I absolutely love, and I feel like I see her every 2 weeks, and I've only seen her twice. This next appointment that we have, we're doing what's called, I think she calls it like a trauma bomb. It's supposed to be really hard, and I'm okay with it because I don't mind hard. One of the things she said to me is it's going to get harder before it gets easier, and I'm okay with that. I mean, that's how it is with training. Like, the workouts are harder, and then they start getting easier, and you adapt. And so I get it. I can basically relate everything that has to do with health and fitness and training to life. So right now, what I'm really focused on is healing, dealing with some of my past trauma, and then leveling up as a person, as a woman, having peace wrapped around how I look, peace wrapped around a lot of things. I'm in a really good space. I mean, I have a great relationship with my kids. I just saw Koa for the first time. I have 2 kids, for those of you that don't know. My oldest son is biologically mine. He's 17, and he's been working like crazy. He went to California to visit some of his friends with his grandparents for like a week. So it was weeks since I've seen him, and I could cry because we just really bonded last night for the first time in a while. So like that, and I don't know what made me start talking about that, but whatever. So my thing right now that I'm doing is just, again, finding my peace, which I have, but I want to find more. Dealing with some of my past. I am, and I don't say this for any other reason, but I am single right now, and I'm very okay with it, and I'm very okay with it for the first time, maybe ever, because I feel like I need this right now, but I'm in a really good place. I love my schedule. I opened up my schedule. I have 3 new clients, and I have availability for 1 more person in my semi-private slot. And then I'll be completely booked in the studio with both of my 2 slots that I have. I can always take on online people, training Zoom in the morning, or just online. So if anybody's interested in any kind of coaching, that's another thing that I'm trying to, I've talked about how I've struggled with, I know what I look like, and I feel like what I look like kind of scares away the people I want to coach. People look at me and they assume I'm a competition coach, but I'm not. I am a lifestyle coach. I work with I have a 16-year-old in the studio. I've coached up to 84-year-olds. I have a 74-year-old in Italy that I train on the computer. I've talked about her before. So those are the kind of people that I want to work with. People that have women going through menopause. I have 2 clients right now post-cancer. Right now, I've coached a total of 8 now people through cancer or post-cancer. Diabetes, blood pressure, aggressive weight loss. These are all the things, these are the people that I want to work with. So I am also trying to come to peace with the fact that, or accept that I look and like the way that I look, genuinely, even though it doesn't translate to the people I want to attract. I never worded it that way, but I like it. Okay, So that's what I'm looking forward to accomplishing. Peace, purpose, leveling up personally. Um, so this person happened to make a comment about how their anxiety and depression is getting better. And I had just made a note about like some of the things that I'm doing now. I don't necessarily struggle from anxiety because I feel like acknowledging that I have a medical condition like Crohn's disease and colitis, which I've had since I was 19 years old, and I basically live my life in a way that tries to keep me as healthy as possible. And what I mean by that is I try to live a life of like, don't sweat the small stuff, right? Control the controllables. Like, there's a million different ways that you can word it. But I don't stress about things that I can't control. And there might be massively stressful things that, like, oh my God, this happened, now woe is me, and all this stuff, why me? But I don't do things like that because at the end of the day, it doesn't make anything better. And then all it does is physically make me ill. So I've learned to live my life in a way of like learning how to deal with stress better. Deal with what you can control, and what you can't control, you just have to accept and try not to stress about it. So I journal a lot now. I am currently almost done with the book What Happened to You by Oprah Winfrey, and I forgot the doctor's name. I love it. As soon as I'm done with the book, I'm going to message my therapist and ask her to recommend another one. I'm somebody that's very like, you give me direction and I will follow it. I am like the world's best client, because I know what it feels like to like give somebody direction and want them to want to do it, knowing that I can help them, right? So then when I work with somebody, you tell me what to do and I'm going to do it. So basically when I committed to this with the therapist, I had said, you tell me what to do, give me a list and I'll do it. And I make time for me where I'm not doing therapeutic things. I'm doing like mindless things, like, where I have my downtime. I have things that I do that, are just for me, that, maybe I do, I go skating, or maybe I go to a show. And it doesn't have to be every week. Maybe it's every other week, something alone, right? I'm supposed to be getting out in nature more. I will say that's one thing. It's been a week and a day. It's one thing that I haven't done. I haven't gone for a walk or like a hike or anything like that, but it is something I'm going to incorporate. I've done yoga, I've done my journaling, and I've been listening to my book. So I would encourage you to find a couple things that work for you and start incorporating them into daily life. And it doesn't have to be like, I do it when I can. So when I'm driving to the gym, I know I need to listen to music to hype me up. When I'm driving home from the gym, sometimes I listen to my audiobook and sometimes I listen to slow music. So find what works. Sorry. You know me and my million alarms. So find what works for you and start incorporating it to help you deal with anxiety. So I'm going to make a couple suggestions for some books. I live my life by the 4 agreements. I have it right next to my bed. I love the book by Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within. So I'm going to keep it simple and just recommend those 2. And then if you are somebody that has dealt with trauma as a child or even as an adult, I would definitely recommend What Happened to You. And one of the things that I will say is, if you're constantly asking yourself this question, then that book is perfect for you. If you're asking, what's wrong with me? You need to reword it and say, what happened to me? And learn how to deal with that. And that is what that book is about. And that's why it's good that I'm reading that, because throughout my life, I have spent a lot of time saying that to myself. What's wrong with you? What made you do that? Or what the hell made, like, a lot of internal dialogue. I pride myself on trying to negate the negative with positives when the negative does come into my head, but I try to change the dynamic of the way that you think of whatever it is that you're processing. What have been my favorite workouts for maintaining? I'm not quite at maintenance. I wouldn't say that I'm at a bulk. I wouldn't say that I'm at a cut right now. So if you've been following me, I had this massive injury from powerlifting. Then ended up getting like 4 shots, just got another shot and all that other stuff, and doing my mobility work and all that other stuff. So Andy did a massive cut. I was not happy with it, but I understand why he did it. I hated feeling skinny. This is the reason why I will not compete again. I know I wasn't skinny, but I don't like it. I like feeling fuller. I know I have lines and I know I'm still lean, but I like a fuller look than a peeled, I don't like the way that I look at 159. I like the way that I look at anything over 167. I like the way that it looks. So, I have this like 5 pound range. So right now, I don't know if I would say that I'm maintaining. Like was still considered in a surplus and on a bulk. But what my favorite workouts are, I mean, Tuesdays, fucking love. And Fridays are like my 2 favorite days. And Fridays it's changed a couple times, and I'm going back to the way that it was. So when I really liked my body, the size of my glutes where they were at 41, I was doing quads a second time with glutes on Fridays, and then I was doing heavy glutes and hamstrings on Sundays. I changed it for a little bit, and I did it for a few weeks. I'm not going to say I changed it for 1 week. I did it for a few weeks. And then I started looking at old pictures from months ago, last year. And I said, I think I'm going to go back to it. And then this Friday that just passed, I worked out over at Strength Culture, and I had the sickest workout. So I went heavy on bridges, which I know I said I was going to do on Sunday. But I went heavy on bridges, heavy on squats. Oh my God. And it felt so good to feel good. Leg extensions, and then another glute exercise, and then a light hamstring exercise. So I kind of like it. I'm working out with Brittany Diamond again this Friday coming up, and I told her, hey, I don't mind if we do a little bit of everything. So she made up the workout. You're going to have to wait and see. But we have some new shit coming in. Great. I'm like, as soon as I read it, she sent it to me. As soon as I read it, I'm like, I'm in. I love it. So we're going to do that. And that's it. So those are like my 2 favorite days. I don't really care to get my upper body any bigger. I'm actually marinating in some changes for that. But favorite ways to relax, becoming one with my couch. That's my favorite way to relax. Doing mindless, watching a movie. Before competing, what did I do in reference to like sports and stuff? So I wouldn't say before competing, because I've competed on and off since Koa was 1 and he's 17, as I mentioned. But in between there, 11 years ago, I did jiu-jitsu. I'm a blue belt. Cesar Gracie promoted me in 13 months. And then I stopped doing it. I dabbled in Muay Thai for a little bit. And then when I was in high school, I did softball and volleyball and basketball. I did, I know it's not a sport, but I played the violin too. I used to sing. And I took a whole semester in college for dance. I wanted to be a dancer at one point. I used to take 3 dance classes a week for the first 5 years of my personal training career. Go to conventions. I would be called up on stage, a room filled with hundreds of people, and I would be called up on stage to do the routine with the choreographer. Haven't done that in years. So that's a little bit about me that maybe you didn't know. Most proud accomplishments, and I think we'll end there. And I've said this before. I think when you come from the childhood that I came from, and I don't say this to be cocky, but if you know even a fraction about what I've gone through as a child and the dynamic of what my life could have been if I allowed myself to be a product of that, of leaving home early, a product of physical abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse. I never got into drugs, never was a drinker. For me, it was a control thing. Like I always wanted, I had too much of I wanted to take care of everybody, even from when I was younger. So like, I mean, I'm not saying I've never gotten drunk. I got drunk when I was young. You know, when I was a teenager, I hung out with my friends at 17. I think I got drunk once. And, but like for me, it was always, I want to be the one that takes care of everybody. If God forbid something happens, I want to be able to take somebody to the hospital. Um, but whatever. So I think my greatest accomplishment would be that statistically, I shouldn't be where I am now. I am. I'm not gonna call myself a single mom because single moms are fucking stallions and warriors, and I don't even know how they do it. So kudos to all the single moms out there because I have a really good support system. I am a mom of two boys that has a really phenomenal ex-husband co-parenting and his parents that are there. And if it wasn't for all of us, I don't know what would be the dynamic of my kid's life. So like, I'm not a single mom, but I am a good mom to both of my kids. I have both of my kids are straight A students. My youngest son is autistic and he goes to a learning center, but he is not in any like therapies besides this learning center. He goes twice a week. He does jiu-jitsu. My older son, stupid work ethic. People have been fired and quit from the job and that he's at right now. He wants to be a personal trainer. He's going to go to school after high school, which he's a senior now. Also, good grades, wrestler, has done jiu-jitsu, but he hasn't had time because he's been working a lot. And I own my home. I own a business with my ex-husband. We own a private studio. And that's it. I have good people in my life. I don't allow negativity in my life. If there's bad energy, I pride myself on being able to get rid of it. I am constantly leveling up in life, whether it's personally or, you know, I feel like right now I'm going in the right direction in reference to my business. Not like I was ever not going in the right direction, but there's a little depth to that, but I don't think I'm ready to talk about that. And that's it. So I think that being where I'm at in my life is an accomplishment, because I could have been so much worse in so many ways. So my kids are happy, and that's what matters to me. My kids have direction in life, and they are going places, and that's what matters to me. I can do things with them. I can do things with myself that I want to do. I am starting to be more and more peaceful in my life in general. And that's it. So this has been a long one, but a good one. I have to go eat and get ready for my training session, and I love you guys. I hope you like the video. Leave your comments below. I did ask in my community tab what people want to see, and I did get a few people that made comments about doing a day in the life. So if you want to see that, I have to choose a day, or maybe I'll do a couple days in the life, and I'll put it all together, just make it into like a little short video. And by short, I mean 20 minutes. So that's it. But leave your comments below, like, subscribe, share to the channel. If anybody is interested in coaching, please go to the description, go to the Jenna Geary website, read the About Me page, the kind of coach I am, and then fill out the contact page, and I will get in touch with you. So I love you guys. Deuces.